Wow, we're in the 100th now. Episode number 101 of the Shant and Adi podcast. Shant, how you feeling tonight, big guy?
Feeling good, man. When is our next big one? Is it 200? Is it 1,000? Is it 500? What is like the next milestone for us?
I'm probably going to get us a cake for 250.
250. Okay.
Yeah. And then for 500, maybe I'll crack open a bottle of Ori. Not a bottle of champagne, bottle of Ori.
The $16 one my dad likes to drink. Yeah, that's the one.
None other than Rantusuna Burat. We'll pop it open for episode.
How much does that go for now? My dad is always wondering. And if you come, he's going to ask you to bring some, by the way.
Same shit my dad would do to save like $2 on a bottle. He goes to one liquor store that's completely inconvenient to go to just to save like $2 on the bottle. And these guys, the only reason why they bring it still is because of my dad. Nobody else buys it.
So it was funny when I was living in Jersey. So my dad would, when we'd go to Boston, he would stop at that one liquor store because the Ori there, it was literally $2 cheaper. That was like, I think the only reason he wanted to come to Boston, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, he wanted to see you guys, but I think it's like the Ori's low. Guys,
let's go to Ricky's Liquor right next to their house and pick it up. Yeah, they literally only bring this Ori because of my dad. They sell much better Arak there. Much better. Beautiful bottles. This is literally the... Anyway, not important. So yeah, we'll crack something open, I feel like, on episode 250. Can you tell me a little bit about all this action we're seeing coming out of Leo? Still taking the spotlight, man. What is this? Did he start school?
Yeah, he started school yesterday, man. He turns 2 tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he started school. It's not daycare, it's actual school. He's got to start, talk to my accountant. It's potentially tax deductible. So excited about that. Yeah, he's helping out. He's already helping out the family.
Yeah. I like this. I like Leo taking one for the team like this. Awesome. I saw he had his haircut. He had a nice little buzz going.
Yeah. He started school. I don't know if he realizes he's in school or what the hell's going on, but it's full day, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., bro. Like, it is full day.
How many naps does he get?
One nap. He didn't nap yesterday. He napped today, though, so.
Oh, nice. So can you tell me, Sean, this is serious business. So he's going to his school, and I keep hearing the same word over and over again. You'll have to excuse my ignorance. Montessori.
Yep.
What is the difference between a Montessori school and sort of just a regular old private school?
Yeah. So, and there's Montessoris that go up to 3rd, and I think some up to 6th grade. So they start as early as 6 months. You could enroll them into a Montessori school. So Zila's ass is soon getting kicked out too.
She looks like she's going to be a little bit smarter than Leo. Leo is a good guy and all. He's our tank, but
yeah.
I think Zila is probably going to get the full ride.
Yeah, she might get a scholarship. So hopefully Leo gets an athletic scholarship for punching kids in the face. But no, nothing yet of that sort. But Montessori is a different way of learning, right? So Montessori, and I may butcher this and I may be a little off, but this is the premise for the most part. It's the kid, the child, picking what they want to learn, right? So they have different stations, right? And it's more interactive. It's not just sitting in a class and learning. They pick what they want to learn and they work on that, right? Then they also teach a lot of independence. So they'll have their own greenery where they grow stuff like plants and stuff like that, and they have to take care of that. They always have a class pet, and they have to learn to take care of the pet. They wash their own dishes. They put their own plates out for lunch. they do all that, like they take out the trash, like all these things that they're learning to become more independent and learn a different style of learning than just taking out a book and textbook and teaching. It's hands-on learning. They're able to pick what they want to learn that day and focus on that rather than, all right, second period, I got math, right? So it's a little bit more interactive.
So basically, they are guided from what I'm seeing. They are guided by their own curiosity.
Yes, exactly. It's the perfect.
I'm wondering what kind of crazy shit Leo's curious ass is gonna. What do you think? What do you think is gonna come up in front of him? You think he's gonna see? You think he's gonna be very curious about cars? You think he's gonna be curious about engineering stuff?
Yeah, I don't know, man. He likes to build. We've noticed, like when we get a package, we have to put something together. He comes, he grabs a screwdriver. He's like doing it. He's hammering stuff. He thinks he's helping. So
he was vacuuming with you that one time. Was that a real vacuum?
It's a toy vacuum he has. Anytime I vacuum, he runs to grab his and he vacuums with me. And so he likes to wash dishes. When I cook or Betty cooks, he likes to get on a stool and help. Right. So little things like that, man. It's very interesting. And the only Montessori adult that I actually know that went through Montessori as a child was Sam, Tavik's wife.
And was he the one that
turned out really well? So
yeah. Did she recommend for Leo to go to Montessori? Or you guys already knew that you wanted to sort of.
We already knew. We already had it, and once we brought it up, she's like, "Oh, I've been through mine." And she used to work at a Montessori too, so she's all about it, and that gave us a little bit more. We were already going to do it. We've been planning it for like before he was even born. We were like, "Oh, we always liked Montessori, the basis of it," and that's when we knew she was a part of it too. I guess Sam, that's her name. She's like, yeah, she's top notch. So we feel really good about that.
I was thinking about you guys earlier today because I had logged on to Facebook for the first time in 5 years.
Wow.
And I saw Viamo posted up a couple pictures and a video. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, Tavi must be feeling so left out. You know, like Leo's running around, your mom's running after him, like all the cute shit's happening. Yeah, man. So anyway, really cool stuff. Looking forward to having kids of my own one day so that I can get some lessons of what cool dads do.
The funny thing is, and I know we'll talk about our topic. You end up learning a lot about yourself when you have kids.
In what way, Sean? Can you elaborate? Do you mean that in the sense that you learn a lot about what your limits and capabilities are, or do you learn a lot about you have a different sense of like looking at things when you have kids? How do you mean so?
So I think both of those, right? I think I've learned a lot about like how much I could take, the pressure, the patience, right? Because the kids push you, right? Emotionally, mentally, Leo physically too. They they will test your limits on how patient you are. And then you just have to realize like, wow, why am I getting so upset over this thing that, you know, he's not even 2. He doesn't know what he's doing. That's one. The other one is your capabilities, right? And seeing Betty rocking, being a mom, and also how much we emulate our parents subconsciously without even knowing, right? So he literally copies everything I do, bro. He loves to copy anything I do. So I have to be mindful of doing the right things around him, right? I can't be cursing. I can't be talking to Betty a certain way. I have to like be, giving her a kiss in front of him. I got to say, please, thank you, all these things, because it's going to teach his manners, right? And also, if I get angry, it hits him differently, man. Like, I don't know, it's weird. If I get angry at him, it affects him more than when Betty gets angry at him. And he's trying to copy what I do. So I have to be the example. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, because you're full-time, you're acting.
Not acting, but trying to be my best self.
Acting.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you're not acting. You're acting half the time. It's not that you're acting in a bad way. You're just filtering the shit out of what you're doing. You're holding back so much. You could tell. You're not cursing. You're not like watching TV and like screaming at like whoever's playing.
Yeah.
You're doing so much that you're probably doing so much less than you're probably used to doing. I don't mean acting as in a bad way.
I got
I
you.
don't mean to say like, oh, you're being fake in any way. No, in fact, it's the opposite. You're really, really holding back a lot of your natural tendencies because you don't want your son now, flipping somebody the bird because they cut you off in traffic.
Yeah. And then he's going to do it. It's crazy, man. Like, we literally try to be like our parents.
I am my dad. I can't.
You are.
Yeah, I get upset at myself sometimes, but I am legit my dad. The real one that hits home for me, I think that when you have a temperament, when you have a really bad anger problem, and your kid starts to learn how to respond to criticism in the same way, I think that that's the biggest one. Like, you could be a completely different person than your father, but how you guys respond to certain things could be identical, I've learned. So, like, I learned that my interest could be way different. My tolerance for a lot of things could be a lot different, but as soon as I'm criticized or something, I erupt the same way that my dad erupts. And we always criticize each other for it. But I'm like, dude, you taught me this. Like, and coming back to what I was saying before, it's like, okay, like, I need somebody that, like, I don't want to ask my dad for dad advice because I'm like, like, you were good, but like, I need to adapt it for like the 21st century type of stuff. So like, if I ever have a kid, I got to be asking other dads that maybe are a lot more calm than I am, how they go about certain things, like how when they get upset, how they react to their kids. I don't know if you ever gave this much thought. Like, I need to read about how to get angry at Leo.
Yeah, no, me and Betty's reading another book now. I try to watch videos. I try to read. I try to do as much as I can because, yeah, like, our parents didn't have the luxury of all the information we have now, bro. Like, they didn't know. They didn't have anyone to talk to. Armenian dads didn't talk about like, oh, so how do you react when your kids are doing this? Like, they didn't, yeah, they didn't have that outlet. And it's difficult, bro. Like, Leo literally punches me or smacks me in the face. I have been taught and reacted my whole life. If you hit me, I'm hitting you back. Like, that is just automatic. It's just, you hit, I'm hit. Like, it's a reaction. So it's very difficult. And I don't hit him back. That's why it's like, you have to just like, okay, this 1-year-old, 2-year-old thing just smacked me in the face. It's not the end of the world. He thinks he's playing, but they test you, man. It's fucking awesome though, because they're put in front of us, I think, as a example and a lesson. And me and Betty are the personality. We want to be good. Like, you can't be a perfect parent, right? You can't be the best, but it's like, we want to we want to give him the outlet to, like, I try not to say no. I hate when I say no to him. That word no just fucking bothers me so much, because if he just hears no, 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 this whole childhood, he's going to be scared to try to go do things.
Yeah, he's going to
Right?
be feeling held back or always
Which we
rejected.
did. I heard no my whole life, right? So it's, and not intentionally, not that they were trying to limit me in that moment. They just don't want me to touch the stove, right?
There's a lot of no's.
Yeah.
You guys live
So
in New York City. Like, don't fucking leave the house. You'll get stolen, just like a Chevy Caprice.
yeah, don't talk to the homeless guy on the corner there. Just no, don't. It's like, why? But
Don't breathe. Don't fucking do not breathe. It's dirty outside.
and so we're trying to limit that. It's so difficult, man. Try not to say no to someone, right? And dude, it's yeah, and I put him into soccer. He starts soccer at the end of the month.
You kidding me, man? This early?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Why soccer? Is that just like the easiest thing for them to do right now?
Yeah, he can't do basketball. He's gonna try to like shoot it, the soccer ball, but yeah, soccer's probably the easiest. They could just run around. So he's gonna be in a 2-year-old soccer team.
I wonder who the coach is, man. How much?
God bless them.
Yeah, how much Xanax he takes before he snorts it in the car. Anyway, so yeah, coming back full circle to the whole cool dad thing, like really, really understanding, dissecting sort of what these kids need nowadays. They don't need a dad that I don't think I don't think that they need a dad that works 20-hour days and barely has time to be a dad. That's not something that I'm trying to become. And this whole conversation is stemming from the very statement that constantly reverberates around my mind, saying the working man is a sucker. I heard this line come out of the Bronx Tale many years ago when I first saw it, and every single time I run into a situation where I think to myself, man, like why do I have to fucking bust my ass, do all this shit to build a future for some kids that are probably not even going to appreciate all the hard sacrifice that I did. I could have done less sacrifice and probably made a bigger impact in their lives, or so I think, right? But just want to start off this whole conversation with the statement, with making the statement, the working man is a sucker. Initial impression, Sean, on that very statement.
So, and I want to hear what your definition, right? Because everyone could have their own definition behind the working man is a sucker, right? For me, what comes to mind, right? And I want to hear your opinion, and we could talk it through. And not saying I agree with it, but I think the premise of the working man is a sucker is if you work for someone else. And not saying I agree with it, but that's, I think the premise is you work for someone else. So if you work for someone else, the working man is a sucker because you're always beholden to that other person. You're dependent on that other person. Now that could not just mean, okay, that could not just mean working a 9 to 5, in my opinion. I think it could be a business owner, could be a real estate agent. We're beholden to our clients. We have to do what our clients say. We are a working man because we work for our client, right? So I don't know, what is your definition of the working man is a sucker?
It's a tough one, and it's a tough one to swallow because you almost know exactly which two characters are being compared to one another. You got one guy, very, very blue collar type of employee. You got somebody that maybe he's a pizza maker. He's
Janitor, electrician, plumber.
He's either working for somebody else or works for himself. He's in the business of labor or customer service. He's in the business of putting a smile on his face and doing it anyway. He's he's constantly, when somebody says that this person is a sucker, the person that's pointing the finger at him is the person that it seems like our whole generation of kids right now are striving to become those types of people, the picturesque, you know, real estate agent or businessman on Instagram that seems to always have everything going right for them or being very, very successful. These two, I think, are the most commonly compared to people. You're either person A or person B. Which one are you working to become? Because obviously, person A is the person the kids all look up to, and person B, it's like, okay, you know, my dad does this and this and this, and I'm probably not too proud of him.
Yep.
He's always at work. He's always sort of in a bad mood because, you know, obviously working that long of a day, coming home and, you know, me scoring this much on a test, he thinks I'm like pretty much betraying him, right? Like, how could you do this when I'm sacrificing this much for you? Yeah, but how much are you actually sacrificing is, I think, a lot of how these kids look. Anyway, so how I look at what a working man is, how I define a working man, I look at a working man as somebody who unnecessarily breaks their back, sometimes necessarily, to make ends meet or a little bit more.
Can I
Yeah.
just to I raise my hand. The whole notion of, and this bothers me, and this could just be my perception right now. It could change. I don't know, but this is what bothers me right now with the perception with a man saying, I'm doing all this sacrifice for you, right? For the child, for the wife, for the family, right? I think that's bullshit. And that's a cop out, in my opinion.
Okay. Why?
So first of all, the child didn't say, Leo's not telling me, Sean, go work 80 hours a week. I don't work 80 hours a week, but he's not saying, hey man, like, can you go work more? Like, come on, man. Like, what's going on? So, well, and then the counter argument is, well, I want to give my family the life, you know, the great life or whatever. Okay, fair. But I've noticed Leo could care less what the fuck he's wearing, what toys he has, where he lives, anything. He just cares if I'm in the backyard and I'm spraying him with a hose. It's the funnest thing in the world. Literally, he's like the best time of his life. I don't need to take him to Disneyland and Disney World. You can. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but kids don't need anything extravagant. Just literally, I could give him a fucking cardboard box and throw him in the backyard with the hose. Best day of his life. So it's a cop-out to say, I am working for you. You brought the child into the world. You decided you want to give them the life you think they want. You don't know what they want. Now, the other argument is, so I want the life. That's why I'm working. Now, Betty wants it too, so she's okay. But if she wasn't, and we were having a struggle, it's because I am selfishly want that life. But we put it on everyone else. Just my opinion.
So, in the Bronx Tale, the kid's seeing fast money. He's making money. He's working for this this mob guy that is paying him a little bit of money for doing, you know, running drinks back and forth from the bar to the table or whatever. And his dad is the bus driver, and you know he gets criticized by who the little kid is working for, the mob guy or whatever, and he's saying, you know, the working man is a sucker, and the kid buys into this. He buys into it hard, and he gets smacked for telling his dad this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Great movie.
Right. But like there was a lot of truth behind it. The kid firmly believed that the working man was a sucker. Even after he grew up and he was still hanging around Sonny because he, who knows, he probably had that deep-seated resentment for his dad constantly having to work to make ends meet for a lifestyle that was subpar versus what he was seeing, versus what he was witnessing, watching Sonny. Now, how is this relevant to anything that's happening right now? Well, it's super relevant because a lot of these kids are on Instagram and TikTok. Not even kids from when I say kids, I mean just everybody now up until like the age 40 are seeing crazy shit to compare their lives to. And even more so now, the working man is more of a sucker, quote unquote. The phrase, the working man is now more of a sucker than he ever was, because you could be making money in a very, very respectable way, but you're a fucking loser if you're not doing it in the way that you're seeing people do it on Instagram and TikTok and whatnot.
So like e-business, just sit back, have an Amazon store, make millions of dollars, and be a crypto trader.
100%. So if in somebody saying the working man is a sucker, a working man himself would sit down and look at you and say, you could be right. Personally, me, I could look at somebody else that says this to me, and I could say, you could be right, my friend. Why do you think that? Why would somebody think that a working man is a sucker? Not, okay, a working man could be doing something else that earns him money a little bit easier if he just used his brain. But the working man is a sucker, as in I'm kind of an idiot for doing this. I'm kind of a waste of talent for doing this.
Yeah.
How true is this?
I think there's truth behind it, man. I think it depends. If the working man is doing this, working 40, 60, 80 hours a week, but then comes home, complains, hates life, that is a sucker to me. That's the sucker, in my opinion. Even if they own a business, they're just miserable all the time, they're too stressed. That to me, and there's going to be points in everyone's in a business or working at a company, you're going to have some moments, right? Like you're just not going to have a perfect, great life. You could have a great life. I just mean like Zen moments 24/7. But if that's like the constant year over year of just like, you come home, you're just angry. Yeah, I think you're a sucker, man. I think there's enough options nowadays where you could kind of create the life you want, right? It'll take time and effort and work to get to that point. But because I'm struggling with that too a little bit now, but because you were the kind of working man working a lot, right? I don't know if you were the sucker, but you were working a lot and you were very stressed. You were a little bit angrier, because anyone working a lot is going to be angry, right? It's fucking, I think it's human nature. I'm sure there's exceptions. So now you have your days off and stuff now.
Yeah. So not so much my days off, but just days away from normal, quote unquote, normal work. And I have a little bit to say about this all. I used to think that sometimes 9 to 5 life and like Monday through Friday life was fantastic. The idea of it was something that I thought that I really truly wanted until I gave it a shot. Mondays and Tuesdays, my work schedule was pretty much work from home from 9 to 5. Fucking 9 to 4, really. If you look at it, I probably got my work done around 4 or 5 o'clock. And then 4 or 5 o'clock rolled around, and obviously I don't have kids. I don't have anything going on like that right now. But 4 or 5 o'clock rolled around, and I'm just like twiddling my thumbs, I'm like, all right, I get it. Like if I had a girlfriend right now, maybe, I'd be getting ready to like maybe hang out with them. But like I've been there before. I've been there with the whole girlfriend thing before. And I'm just like, what do people do when they're not at work? Like I'm not gonna hang out with my girlfriend from 5 p.m. to 10 or 11. Like
Yeah,
I
every
still
day.
need until 8 or 9 to see her anyway. Because like the fuck, what are we doing? What are we doing at 4:30 or 5 p.m.? Sitting in traffic?
Yeah,
Like,
because she's probably just gonna start getting off in 6, dinner, this, then what, right?
right.
Yeah, what does Adi do from 5 to 10?
It's the most miserable thing in the world for me is not having work. And I get it, like, oh, you gotta find time to like relax and this and that. You don't need that much time to relax. I do it a little bit in the mornings before I go to the gym. For instance, I woke up this morning at 5 a.m. to go to the gym. And before I did anything, I spent like half hour just to myself, like not even doing anything. I had breakfast alone outside on the deck, and then I got my day started. I don't need a whole half
Yeah,
day.
like, yeah, dude, same. Like it was a couple weekends ago. Well, I don't know when it was. It was something, and the kids were gone, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking sit home, just fucking do nothing all day. It's like 11. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is there? Like, what am I doing?
It just
I'm just,
doesn't work.
I'm bored. I was bored. Uh, it's just nothing. So the past, like, so this is my mornings now, right? And this is to me, this is my rest time and relaxing time. Okay. So I get up around like 5-ish, right? I'll make my smoothie. I'll do my journaling. I'll read. I'll do some stretching. Then either Zila or Leo, one of them fucking gets up earlier than they should. So like today, Zila got up at 6. I'm taking care of her. By the time she's done, like an hour, I put her back to bed. Then Leo's up at 7. Now I got him ready for school. 8, I was out the door. From 5 to 8, dude, I got so much fucking done. And I just felt like, dude, I'm fucking pumped now. Like I'm energized. I'm ready to go. Instead of just, yeah, I don't know. To me, that's resting, relaxing, right? You have to spend time with the kids, read a little bit, did a little bit journaling, some stretching, and I was just ready to go.
So like I'm a working man. And I did it all day. I went to work at 9 a.m. I got out of work at 8, and now we're on this podcast. And I woke up at 5 this morning to do other, work, my YouTube channel stuff, and I went to the gym. And it dawned on me that I've had my days. I've had my days of doing the 9 to 5 stuff, and it did not make any sense. I couldn't imagine myself as somebody that was doing their whole work from home or like day trader or like
Jesus Christ.
it just would not. I just wouldn't. I'd be in a bad place mentally. And I understand that not everybody is like this. Not everybody needs that high stimulation sort of thing in their lifetime, but I need it. Not only do I need fast paced work, I need fast cars, I need fast paced cities.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, 100, and sorry to cut you off. So I'm in a position with the company I'm at, and I coach, I run the team and stuff. I could literally work from home every day. I don't have to be in the office. I don't have anyone telling me to be in an office. I could literally be from home working 4 hours a day, right? I choose to every day go to the office. I need to be around other people. I need to be hearing people. I need to see people. I need to just get out of the house. And like I have the luxury to work from home. I choose not to.
So going back to something that you just said, it was very, very interesting. So somebody, if he comes home and he's complaining about how hard he was working and how he's sacrificing this and sacrificing that for the family's greater good, that person is a sucker.
Yes.
And that really struck a chord with me. That speaks to me in so many different ways. I could go to work and I could have just a completely miserable day, in the sense that it was miserable not so much because I personally became miserable, but I'm talking about the experiences that I went through. If
Yes.
somebody were to just measure just how shitty they were, they would probably rank up there in like the tens of how bad it is. But I came home and I didn't even open my mouth about it. I just accepted it for what it was and left it in the car before I got out of it and into my house. That would separate these two people, two of them being working men, but one of them being a sucker and one of them being the type of person that you actually respect for the fact that he does it, but he does it without even getting all emotionally charged about it.
Mhm.
So if we were to bring respect into this conversation, you look at these high profile people, these crypto people, these I started a 10-figure online business people. What are we talking about on the respect scale for you? How much respect is there for you after witnessing, our fathers and, just seeing what is quote unquote respectable hard work and what isn't, drug dealing, etc.
Yeah.
When you think of respect for somebody's work ethic, do you look at 10-figure, which by the way, nothing's wrong with earning 10 figures from an online business. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, 100%.
But in terms of respecting them for their work ethic and I don't know what, yada, 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 and then you see somebody else who really loves his job, loves making pizzas or loves being a janitor. How do these two people stack up for you in terms of how you look at them with respect and how much respect for what they do?
So the 10-figure, so I'm going to tell you a story, right? There's this pizzeria in Brooklyn, best pizza I've had in the United States. Okay. You go there, it's a 3-hour wait minimum every time to get a pie. Okay. It's a dumpy place, whatever. The owner, the old guy in the 80s, Italian descent, obviously, he is the only one. It's a busy place, dude. It is cranking. He has a lot of workers. He is the only one allowed to touch the pizza.
Wow.
Every pie that comes through, he's doing the sauce, the cheese, puts it in the oven, takes it out, cuts the basil, newsflash, pizza owners, put the basil after the pizza's cooked. Don't fucking put it in the oven with basil. Sprinkle the basil on top. Come on. Okay. But whatever. I went somewhere and they had I could tell they put it in the oven they mixed it. I was like, it comes out bad. He's like, oh, it looks, I'm like, this is going to be shit. Like, it's just trash, but whatever. Mm-hmm. So I respected the hell out of that guy, man. I've been there a couple of times. His thing was, I don't know if it happened. Once he retires, he's shutting down the business. Jeez. Like that's it. He actually recently passed away. I don't know if it's still open or not. He was in his mid 80s. I respect that. This guy loves what he does. He wants to touch every pizza because he wants to see the reaction of the people eating it. Right. To me, I respect the hell out of that more than anything.
Do you think that this respect has something to do with pride in your work?
100%. I think a lot of people have gotten the misconception, and it's worked for some people, and good for you, of like, oh, I'm just going to try to build something to make a shit ton of money and get out, right? Build this online business, boom, let it, and great, awesome, nothing against it. But there's something to it, man, when someone has pride in their work and they enjoy like the day-to-day, right? And that could be, because I know I was watching the podcast, Lewis House podcast. It's decent compared to ours, but
mediocre. I've seen some of their stuff. Lewis.
Yeah. He had a business guy who he likes to build the businesses and sell them, right? But he's an operator. He likes to build something up, from the ground up. And there's nothing wrong. I respect that too, right? Because he enjoys that. It's not trying to just automate everything and be done and not see it, right? I respect the people more. Not that it's not respectful for the other side. It's just I respect more the person day to day, hands-on, really loving the building of the business or the job or, whatever it is, the day-to-day activity, right? Like I remember when I was in high school, man, the janitor dude, the guy loved this fucking job, bro. He was like, he took pride in his stuff. I didn't think he's not the working man sucker. He's the working man. And he loved it, man. He would just, I got that. Don't worry about that, man. I got this. I'm going to do this. Like he was just super like, just loved what he did. And I respect the hell out of that, dude.
So it really boils down to a couple different things. It's how much are you complaining about having to work? That's going to make you a sucker.
Mm.
And it's not so much about if whether or not people respect you for your job. It has nothing to do with that. That automatically comes with the fact that when people see how much you enjoy what you do and how much you respect what you do, then all of a sudden people are respecting the fact that you do what you do and how you do it. Mm-hmm. How you do it, you're saying, is much more important than what you're doing.
Yep.
How you do what you're doing is much more important than what you do. What you are doing. Sorry. Very interesting take. Was not expecting this conversation to flow that way. Let's go back to the kid resenting their father for constantly being at work and the father trying to provide a better life. So let's just say, for example, the father, he indeed is trying to provide a better life. He's not working all these hours and unnecessary amounts to get a $10 million house and have all this stuff. He's actually trying to
he has to do it.
The kid, in the father's search, in their quest to provide a better life for their kid, is providing the bare necessities, but is missing a particular ingredient to the upbringing of that kid, and it's constantly having the father figure available to them at their disposal. If I'm understanding this correctly, in terms of establishing a very, very good equilibrium, it's very, very sensitive finding that balance, even if it means just tipping the scale the other way slightly, so that you're sacrificing a little bit in terms of lifestyle quality in order to be able to spend a little bit more time raising the kid. So you're saying the sacrifice needs to be made in order for all boxes to be checked off, or not? You said this, but what are your thoughts on that?
So like
taking like the modern day raising of kids idea.
So like someone who has to work and is not around a lot, right? Like they have to just for minimum standards, like, hey, we need this to like get out of this shitty apartment. We're in a bad area. We got to, I got to do this just to provide. Right. And I'm missing stuff from the kids and stuff like that. Right.
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of that. Right. And I think you're teaching your kids, my opinion, of course, a great lesson there. Yes. In the interim, you're missing out a lot. Right. And that could be detrimental too in certain ways. But you're showing through actions, not words, actions, that a man takes care of what he's supposed to, or the woman, whatever the dynamic is, that parent is taking care of what they're supposed to, right? And that's a valuable lesson that the kid's not going to realize till they're in their 20s or 30s. And yes, they may have not seen their dad or mom a lot, but as they get older, that lesson is going to be way more impactful than the dad just being at everything and not providing the minimum standard or whatever it is. So like I saw my dad, working every day. I've never seen the guy take a day off. Like he's never was just home on a Monday through Friday. Right. As a kid, you're like, well, what the hell? You didn't come to my game. You didn't come to my practice. You didn't take me here. Yeah. You feel all that. But now I look back and I'm like, shit, man, I respect the hell out of my dad. Like he had to, right? We didn't have a lot of money. He was not making a lot of money. My mom didn't work. He had 2 kids. So it's like, I respect, and he taught me a valuable lesson of you have to do what you have to do, right? You have to put your own agenda aside and do what you have to do for the family. Because that wasn't selfish for him. He wasn't trying to go work every day for his selfish dreams. It was literally that he had to, otherwise we would not have any food. So I learned that valuable lesson from him that I didn't know when I was 16, 17, and like, oh, my dad doesn't come to anything. But it's now I'm like, shit, man, he taught me so much from just the action, not from saying anything. Probably same for you.
Yeah. And I've been working since I was 14 years old.
Yeah, same.
I've been working Monday through Saturday since I was 14 years old. So you feel it too, Sean. You feel what the effects of hard work does to you. It makes it so easy for you to complain, for you to start to look like a sucker, for you to know the value of your money so well that whenever you're put in a position where somebody takes advantage of you or makes you feel like they don't appreciate your sacrifice, all of a sudden they're looking at you like, buddy, get your head out of your ass. It's just money at the end of the day. So with that being said, yeah, man, I feel like when you work so hard to provide or to make ends meet, you start to lose, I think that to some degree, you start to lose touch with who you're actually doing it for. I do want to say this though, if you put it into perspective for me, if you are that type of person, if you are becoming that type of person that is losing touch with who you're actually doing it for, I think that you are becoming the sucker indeed. However, I think that you have a major point, that if you're doing it and you're doing it with a smile on your face and you're doing it and you're doing what you like to do or love to do a lot, I don't think that you're making a fool. I don't think that you're making yourself look like a fool. And I don't think that you're putting yourself in a position where people are starting to also pity you for what you're doing. So I guess the real question boils down to, would that translate into, do you think, to your family looking at what you do differently? Do you think that your family all of a sudden will look at your job and say, my dad's not home because he's doing stuff that he loves to do, instead of, oh, my dad's at work? Or do you think like, okay, like how do you think that now, how the dynamic just, it became like, oh, I love to be at work. Yeah. I never talk about how bad work is. All right, so why don't you take more time off then?
So, because we have to hop off, but I will leave you with this. This is my opinion. It always depends, right? There's always one-offs. But I think if you are out there enjoying what you do and you have to do it, right, eventually the kids will relate work to a positive thing. If you're always negative when you come home and you're this, kids make work to be a bad thing, right? Which is why we probably have a lot of people not wanting to work now, and a lot of open jobs openings. So I think it's laying that groundwork. And when you're home, if you're really with them, and truly spend that time, I think that will eliminate a lot of the, oh, why are you going? You're so much happier there. It's the balance. And I think just showing like, hey, work it's necessary, but you got to, it's enjoyable. And then that will raise them to have a better outlook on what work really means, rather than, yep, work sucks, I don't want to work. Shit. I got to run. I'm getting yelled at right now. Great topic.
Do it, baby.
Yeah.
All right,
sorry,
Chad.
we have to cut it short.
Get to work, baby.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.